Hello and welcome to another episode of Storytime with Stacey. We've been having some absolutely fantastic weather recently. I hope you've had the chance to get out to some parks and open spaces, or maybe you've got a garden you can sit in, as we really do deserve a nice break from staying indoors. So I hope we can have a little bit of time outside as safely as possible. Because it's so hot, I'm reading you these stories from my conservatory here, which is a bit like an oven. I really need to cool down, so that's why I've picked a little wintry snowy tale to cool me down as I read for you today. And the tale I have picked is The Gruffalo's Child by Julia Donaldson and Axel Scheffler. So thank you to Julia and Axel, and thank you also to Macmillan. But without any further delay, this is The Gruffalo's Child. The Gruffalo's Child. The Gruffalo said that no Gruffalo should ever set foot in the deep dark wood. Why not? Why not? Because if you do, the big bad mouse will be after you. I met him once, said the Gruffalo. I met him a long, long time ago. What does he look like? Tell us, Dad. Is he terribly big and terribly bad? I can't quite remember, the Gruffalo said. Then he thought for a minute and scratched his head. The big bad mouse is terribly strong, and his scaly tail is terribly long. His eyes are like pools of terrible fire, and his terrible whiskers are tougher than wire. One snowy night, when the Gruffalo snored, the Gruffalo's child was feeling bored. The Gruffalo's child was feeling brave, so she tiptoed out of the Gruffalo cave. The snow fell fast and the wind blew wild. Into the wood went the Gruffalo's child. A trail in the snow. Whose is this trail, and where does it go? A tail poked out of a log pile house. Could this be the tail of the big bad mouse? Out slid the creature. His eyes were small, and he didn't have whiskers. No, none at all. You're not the mouse. Not I, said the snake. He's down by the lake, eating Gruffalo cake. The snow fell fast, and the wind blew wild. I'm not scared, said the Gruffalo's child. Marks in the snow. Whose are these claw marks? Where did they go? Two eyes gleamed out of a tree-top house. Could these be the eyes of the big bad mouse? Down flew the creature. His tail was short, and he didn't have whiskers of any sort. You're not the mouse. To-wit-to-woo! Not I, but he's somewhere nearby, eating Gruffalo pie. The snow fell fast, and the wind blew wild. I'm not scared, said the Gruffalo's child. A track in the snow. Whose is this track, and where does it go? Whiskers at last, and an underground house. Could this be the home of the big bad mouse? Out slunk the creature. His eyes weren't fiery. His tail wasn't scaly. His whiskers weren't wiry. You're not the mouse. Oh no, not me. He's under a tree, drinking Gruffalo tea. It's all a trick, said the Gruffalo's child, as she sat on a stump where the snow lay piled. I don't believe in the big bad mouse. But here comes a little one, out of his house. Not big, not bad, but a mouse at least. You'll taste good as a midnight feast. Well, said the mouse, before you eat, there's a friend of mine that you ought to meet. If you'll let me hop onto a hazel twig, I'll beckon my friend so bad and big. The Gruffalo's child unclenched her fist. The big bad mouse, so he does exist. The mouse hopped into the hazel tree. He beckoned and said, just wait and see. Out came the moon. It was bright and round, a terrible shadow, fell onto the ground. Who is this creature, so big, bad and strong? His tail and whiskers are terribly long. His ears are enormous, and over his shoulder he carries a nut as big as a boulder. The big bad mouse! Yelled the Gruffalo's child. The mouse jumped down from the twig and smiled. Oh, prints in the snow. Whose are these footprints? Where do they go? The footprints led to the Gruffalo cave, where the Gruffalo's child was a bit less brave. The Gruffalo's child was a bit less bored, and the Gruffalo snored and snored and snored. So that was the Gruffalo's child. Thank you again to Julia and Axel, and thank you again also to Matt Millen for their blessing in reading that little tale. I'm not quite sure reading that story has cooled down my conservatory at all. I think I might need to go in the garden and get the hosepipe out in a minute, because it's becoming a bit like an oven in here, but certainly the wintry forest helped a little bit. Other than that, it's been brilliant having you. I can't wait to see you again. If you want to keep up to date with these stories, then they air every Monday at 11 a.m. and every Friday at 6 p.m. on our Nottingham City Library's Facebook page. I'll put the link of that across the bottom now, but you can also watch a lot of these episodes on catch up on our YouTube channel, so I'll just put the name of our YouTube channel along the bottom as well. As always, this is part of our wider online city library service. I'll put the link of that along the bottom now. It's a great resource. It's not just for kids, it's got loads of things for adults and everybody else as well. Other than that, I'll see you again soon. Goodbye.